The golden era of RTS might feel like a memory, but a new wave of games is stepping up to remind us why we fell for this genre in the first place. From futuristic battlefields to sprawling empires, these upcoming titles are brimming with strategy, scope, and creativity. Let's dive in and see what's coming. Zero Space is aiming pretty high. A massive RTS where single-player, co-op, PvE, and PvP all unfold in the same shared MMO galaxy. Think PlanetSide 2, but in real-time strategy. Starland Studios is dropping a demo in late January. The pitch? A living, breathing galaxy where thousands of players' actions shape the universe. Factions fight for control of worlds. Progress is tracked live like Helldivers 2 Galactic War. Strongholds can be upgraded, and heroes can reshape battlefields. Sounds complex, definitely. I'm not sure if people have much faith in these kinds of projects, but let's see with this one. The presentation looks decent. The system looks deep, so we're genuinely curious to see how it all comes together. Man, I love the look of this game. D.O.R.F feels like someone dusted off the old Tiberian Sun formula, sprinkled in a bit of Final Liberation, and crush, kill, and destroy, and then said, yeah, let's make this actually good. It hasn't set a release window yet, but heading into 2025, we're expecting more news soon. And from what we can see, development looks really solid. One of the coolest things? Land-based PvP is confirmed, which is basically a full-on old-school RTS playground. The sprites are gorgeous, the menus are chunky in all the right ways, and the whole presentation feels cohesive and polished. If you grew up loving tactical battles and sprites with personality, this one is speaking directly to your soul, and I, for one, can't wait to get my hands on it. Alright, quick pause from the chaos. This video is sponsored by boot.dev, which honestly might be the most fun way I've ever seen to learn programming. If you've ever thought, man, I'd love to build games or actually understand how stuff I play is made, this site is basically the RPG version of a coding bootcamp. You start as a total beginner, and instead of getting hit with boring lectures, you learn by actually building real projects, using Python, SQL, and Go to create back-end systems, APIs, and all the stuff that makes games and apps tick. They've got this bear wizard mentor named Boots, who's your personal AI tutor. He doesn't just dump answers on you, he actually teaches you by asking you questions and nudges you toward figuring things out for yourself. It's like having an NPC who's secretly a genius coder. You earn XP, level up, unlock achievements, complete quests, all while learning skills that could literally land you a six-figure back-end dev job. And yeah, all the course content is free to read and watch, but the paid membership unlocks the hands-on coding, progress tracking, game mechanics, and the interactive AI help. Oh, and they just launched the Training Grounds, which is basically an endless mode where you can grind coding challenges until your brain hits max level. So if you're ready to go from gamer to builder, check out boot.dev. There's even a free demo and a 30-day refund policy, no strings attached. Links down below. Go start your coding adventure. Alright, now let's get back to the great games on this list. If you grew up marathoning Ages of Empires and Empire Earth, you're going to want to sit down for this one. Empire Eternal is looking like the love child of both series. All the nostalgia, but with a dash of modern ambition. And apparently enough modding support to keep you busy until the heat death of the universe. EPO Games and Microprose haven't locked in a release date yet, but they've been testing gameplay details for a while. The graphics are retro enough to make you feel warm and fuzzy, but 3D and ambitious enough that you might trip over a unit pathing bug or two. From what we've seen, it's shaping up to be a deep RTS that doesn't just copy the classics. It wants to take everything you love and make it slightly more complicated, slightly shinier, and just chaotic enough to make your inner strategist sweat. This next game's actually in early access, but it's pretty cool, so I thought I'd throw it in. 9-bit Armies A Bit Too Far is leaning into the chunky voxel look, kind of like if Command & Conquer had been built out of Lego. The name's funny because A Bit Too Far really sums it up. It's bigger maps, more factions, more chaos. I played 8-bit Armies back in the day, and it was this weird mix of simplicity and nostalgia. Like you didn't need to memorize 50 hotkeys. You just build tanks and smash them into the enemy. That's what made it fun. This new one seems like it's pushing things closer to the RTS classics. Bigger armies, more toys to play with. but hopefully without losing that breezy, sit down, blow stuff up, have fun vibe. Sometimes strategy games get too obsessed with micromanagement. This one just looks like it wants to party. Let's see how it plays out. Anvil Empires is shaping up to be a standout in the MMO strategy space. It offers large-scale, player-driven battles where thousands can clash in real time. Reminiscent of the scale found in games like Foxhole, the persistent world means your actions have lasting consequences, and the open-world sandbox allows for organic alliances and rivalries. The recent updates, including improved town layouts and environmental enhancements, show the developers' commitment to creating an immersive experience. While still in pre-alpha, the game's potential is evident, and it could become a go-to for players seeking a deep, community-driven strategy experience. Keep an eye on it. Anvil Empires might just redefine large-scale MMO strategy gaming. At first glance, the Last General might look like Broken Arrow, but it's actually aiming for full-on wargame chaos on a massive scale. We're talking absurdly huge battlefields packed with towns and cities you need to take or defend. You're not micromanaging every grunt. This is a high-level strategy, where objectives and tactics are described as big picture for a reason. On top of the military side, there's economic and political gameplay too. You can deal with insurrections, assassinations, rescues, escapes, or just try to survive destroying key infrastructure matters. So planning isn't optional, it's survival. Single-player, co-op, and online PvP modes are all included, giving diehards plenty of ways to flex their strategy muscles. We'll have to wait until next year for the full experience, though a demo might drop beforehand. If massive, messy strategy is your jam, this one's worth keeping an eye on. Nullspace comes from Kaigen Games, and it's shaping up to be a story-driven RTS set in a retro-futuristic universe. You'll be building stations, gathering resources, and commanding fleets across star systems, all while the game leans hard into realistic physics and simulations. Whether you're juggling a few squadrons or an entire armada, it's strictly single-player for now, and the homeworld vibes are strong, which honestly is fine by us. You'll lead or challenge factions like the Democratic Hegan and the Transhumanist Dominion, and the scrappy Junkers as they battle for survival and dominance. From early screenshots and trailers, it already looks bold and unique in a way few upcoming RTS games do. We haven't played it yet, but if it delivers on its promises, Nullspace could be one of the most interesting strategic space adventures of the year. On the surface, global Conflagration might look like just another indie nod to the classic C&C formula. The devs have clearly focused on streamlining and modernizing the gameplay while layering in deep customization. After last year's demo, they delayed early access to 2025 and we're still waiting, promising it'll ship with all the essential features expected of an RTS game. The setting is a Europe thrown into chaos by a shadowy private military company. 3 factions rise in response: Carpathia, a nationalistic movement with an iron fist; the EDU, hampered by bureaucracy but determined to fight back; and the mysterious Vanguard, the PMC with Russian backing. Each faction has a totally unique roster of units, meaning gameplay can change dramatically depending on who you play. Strategy is meant to be all about skill. It's about adapting to the faction's strengths and weaknesses and knowing your enemy. Let's see how this one plays out. Calyx takes a bold swing by making an alien plant organism the main threat, not your typical RTS enemy. Instead of facing off against rival factions or aliens with lasers, you're up against a sprawling, ever-evolving plant that spreads across the map like an invasive species on a mission. The demo, released in January 2025, has garnered a very positive rating on Steam, with players praising its unique concept and strategic depth. Instead of rival factions or standard alien invaders, your main threat is a single plant-like organism that spreads dynamically across the map. This makes the challenge less about predictable attacks and more about constantly adapting to an evolving biological threat. The game's innovative approach and engaging mechanics have made it a standout in the RTS genre. If you're looking for something that challenges traditional RTS conventions, Calyx might just be the game for you.
There is no room for hesitation.
Liquidation looks like it's tipping its hat to the classics. Think StarCraft and Warcraft. But honestly, with Blizzard's RTS lineup on ice, we'll take all the fresh blood we can get. The game drops you into the war-torn world of Via, where sci-fi tech and fantasy chaos collide, and two asymmetrical armies duke it out over the mysterious resource called Quinrium Rose. Units aren't exactly reinventing the wheel. You've got the usual class setup. And sure, you can slap different weapons on them. The mix and match idea sounds fun on paper, but we'll have to see if it actually works in single player or multiplayer. Divya was promising a co-op story mode and ranked ladders at launch, but early access RTS hype has burned us before. This could be great, or it could fizzle.
I was always staring up at the moon.
Ashes of Singularity II takes the original's massive scale RTS battles and pushes them further. Set in 2031, 3 factions, humans, AI substrate, and post-human coalition, fight for control of the solar system. The game handles hundreds of thousands of units at once across huge destructible maps, with AI-assisted commanders helping manage the chaos. It offers a campaign, co-op modes, and competitive multiplayer, with each faction bringing its own units and strategies. For fans of large-scale RTS, it promises a lot of tactical depth, though whether it lives up to the hype remains to be seen. Dawn of War 4 is finally dragging the series back to classic RTS territory, but in full Warhammer 40k chaos. You've got 4 factions to play as: Space Marines, Orcs, Necrons, and Adeptus Mechanicus, each packing its own flavor of destruction. The campaign promises 70+ missions with branching paths, while the melee heavy sync kill system makes fights brutal and cinematic. There's also a last stand mode for repeatable chaos. There's a lot to live up to, with the last few Dawn of War games being pretty bad in my opinion. It looks like they've listened though, and have put some real effort into this one. For 40k fans, this is looking like a full-on strategy feast, though we'll have to see if it actually delivers when it drops in 2026. Let us know what you think about this one.
We shall know no fear.
Alright, that's our list. Hit that sub button if you want more up-to-date lists of cool games. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in another one soon.